Why did so many Jews leave Palestine and disperse across the world during the Roman Empire? In addition to the Jewish revolts that were brutally crushed by Rome and the complete destruction of Jerusalem, there was another profound factor: the rise of Christianity, which would eventually become the state religion of the Roman Empire. Jesus, the founder of Christianity, was himself a Jew. Early Christianity was originally viewed as a heretical sect within Judaism and was therefore opposed by Jewish religious authorities. According to the New Testament, the Jewish Sanhedrin tried Jesus and handed him over to the Roman governor Pontius Pilate. Pilate believed Jesus had incited the people and thus sentenced him to death by crucifixion. Yet after Jesus' death, Christianity spread rapidly among the lower classes of the Roman Empire. At first, Roman authorities harshly persecuted this new religion, labeling it illegal. But by the early 4th century, suppression no longer worked. Emperor Constantine openly accepted Christianity and later elevated it to the official religion of the empire, making it the ideological core of Rome. The rise of Christianity occurred during the very period when the Jewish people were fighting bloody wars against Roman rule. In fact, early Judaism and Christianity both clashed with Rome's dominant polytheistic religion and were both marginalized. But once Christianity became the state religion, everything changed. Because Christianity originated from Judaism, the two faiths shared deep historical ties, but also key doctrinal differences. Many Christians believed that the Jews were responsible for Jesus' death, and Christianity soon became a powerful tool for persecuting Jews. Throughout the empire, Jews became primary targets of hatred and violence. Christians initially tried to persuade Jews to convert, to accept Jesus as the Messiah. When persuasion failed, violence followed. Jews were denounced as a people abandoned by God, subjected to emotional abuse, physical torment, and even mass killings. Large numbers of Jews fled Palestine to escape Christian persecution and moved beyond the reach of the Roman Empire. They migrated to Babylon, Arabia, North Africa, Persia, India, and other regions not yet under Christian influence. Those who had already entered Europe moved toward territories still considered barbarian and not yet Christianized, such as Spain, France, Germany, and Northern Europe. Thus, long before Christianity spread throughout Europe, Jewish communities were already established there. However, from the 5th to 6th centuries onward, as Christianity became dominant across Europe, the Jews' situation deteriorated sharply. They became widespread targets of hostility, facing continuous persecution, limited freedoms, and forced migrations, from Western Europe to Eastern Europe, then back again, almost never finding a place to settle peacefully. In contrast, the Jews who migrated to Babylon, Arabia, and Persia found relative stability after the 7th century under Islamic rule. Islam shared certain theological ideas with Judaism, and the two groups had no historical enmity. As a result, Arabs were generally far more tolerant of Jews. They allowed Jews to maintain their religion, customs, and community autonomy, requiring only a higher poll tax than Muslims. In such an environment, Jewish scholarship flourished, and Babylon became a major religious and academic center second only to ancient Palestine. As the Arab Empire expanded, it also relied on the Jews' linguistic and commercial expertise. Many Jews were fluent in Greek or Latin, as well as Hebrew and Arabic. Their knowledge made them invaluable intermediaries between the Islamic and Christian worlds. Some became high-ranking advisors to Arab rulers in diplomacy, trade, and finance. When Arab armies crossed the Strait of Gibraltar into Spain in the early 8th century, Jews who had long suffered under Christian discrimination welcomed them enthusiastically. Under Muslim rule, Spain became a golden age for the Jews. It produced towering figures such as Maimonides, Judah Halavi, and Solomon ibn Gabirol, who advanced Jewish philosophy, medicine, literature, and science. They also translated major works between Greek, Arabic, Hebrew, and Latin, helping transmit knowledge across civilizations. But in most of Christian Europe, Jewish life remained bleak. In the late 11th century, Christian pilgrims returning from Jerusalem claimed they had been mistreated by Muslims and that the Holy Land had been defiled. The Roman Church used this as a rallying cry for the Crusades. While the Crusaders failed to defeat the Muslims, they inflicted catastrophic suffering upon European Jews. Many Crusaders believed that since Jews lived nearby and were non-believers, killing them would also save their souls, and they could seize their wealth in the process. Thus, bands of Crusaders attacked Jewish communities along their routes, forcing conversions and slaughtering those who refused. Large-scale anti-Jewish violence broke out across Europe. A few Jews accepted baptism under duress, but most chose death rather than conversion. In Europe and the Near East, entire Jewish communities were massacred. Some groups even chose collective martyrdom to preserve their faith, individuals killing one another to avoid violating religious law before taking their own lives. These individuals are remembered as martyrs in Jewish tradition. Wave after wave, the Crusades became massive anti-Jewish movements, leading to tens of thousands of deaths. After the Crusades subsided, the situation did not improve. European states continued issuing anti-Jewish laws, restricting movement, imposing heavy taxes, banning certain professions, barring Jews from public office, and forbidding land ownership. The Church often added fabricated accusations, such as killing Christian children, using Christian blood for rituals, or spreading the plague. Epidemics like the Black Death were blamed on Jews. In short, if they wanted to convict the Jews of something, they needed no real reason at all.